Bro, this is the third time I'm doing this fucking video. Welcome to Currency Explain with Slim. Nice. Let's go ahead and get into it. Um, so we're at my sunset character. This is my monk from basically day zero of this fucking game. And shout out to me keeping him a sunset character. I knew I was gonna make a video like this for some reason in the future, and yeah, he came in handy because let's go ahead into my stash. We're a little bit stacked, just a little bit. It's not nothing impressive, but we do have mostly, if not everything, to go over with y'all. I am missing some stuff. For one, my pockets ain't too deep for the Mirror of Kalandra, so yeah, that's not gonna happen. So you're just gonna have to take my word for whatever I say about it. And as you can see, the glass blower bubble. I have to see the conversion rate, but the reason why I haven't tried to attempt to buy it yet is because I wanted to show y'all something that I think is going to be super helpful when you guys eventually, get into the game, get into end game specifically. Uh, so after you beat the story, Act 1 through 3, then, well, in this case, 4, and then the interlude chapters, you're going to finally be able to start doing the end game activities, which is mapping. I'm not going to break down mapping or anything, that's a separate video, but uh, essentially, once you're done, one of the bigger goals that you have is to get a hideout, which is where we're at right now. This is your central hub, your HQ, basically where you go to, set up for the next dungeon that you're gonna do. If you want to know how to get those, essentially, you, can you hear me? Perfect. Once you get to mapping, all you're gonna be really doing is looking for this node right here. It's called a hideout. It's gonna be one of the little small nodes right here that pops up, as you can see, like map boss, delirium, shit like that. It's gonna pop up here, and that is your hideout. You just have to make it to that map, clear out all the enemies from there, and boom, it's yours. Once you get a hideout, the next thing to do is, of course, edit your hideout, make it all pretty and stuff. This is like kind of like the basic layout of how it usually is. But once you're able to edit, you're gonna find an NPC named Alva. Now, Alva's an interesting person. She could do a couple of things. She could select your hideout, also customize your guild hideout once you do get a guild, or whatever that case is. You could also buy and sell items for her. She's the gambler, kind of like the slot machine vendor. So you go into her, and if there's a specific item you want and you're feeling lucky, go ahead and take a spin. Just I'm not gonna fucking get a mace. That's stupid. Let's go ahead and just get some random boots. So boom. That's all you do is just click and drag. It'll tell you the price right here. You're not guaranteed anything, so just take that with a grain of salt. I mean, take that as you may. But here we are with the Wayfarer shoes. That's the gambler. But what I really wanted to show y'all is the currency exchange. Now, the currency exchange is extremely interesting, as you can, see. I did a previous trade here. Let's go ahead and just clear this out real quick. So with the currency exchange, let's just do something simple. So all it essentially does is allow you to trade one currency for another one that you need. This was introduced back in POE1, I believe King's March, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's where I remember it first coming out. And it was a godsend, honestly, not having to use the trade site or having to go through, different avenues to find people with these currencies or trusting the chat. Uh, it just allowed a safe, reliable way to trade up to what you need. If you have an overabundance of a certain currency, like you're gonna come across a lot of exalteds throughout your playtime, and possibly even some chaos. Those are really good fetching items for, not fetching items, but really good bargaining chips for other items that you need. It could be like uh, you need a couple stacks of armor scrap, or in this case, like the glass blower bubble. Uh, with exalted, things of that nature. So I kind of went through that fairly quickly, but under the I want tab, just pick whichever currency that you are looking for. And then in the I have tab, you can go ahead and pick whatever currency you have. There's also the popular ones up here that you can use to, pick and choose, like, or not necessarily pick and choose, but know what people are also searching for. Whatever's under popular is most likely what people are trading that currency for. So in this case, it's Exalted and Orbs of Alchemy. I'm just going to use Exalted. It's extremely expensive for one glass blower bubble, but um, and I mean, I don't really care about this character, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it just for the sake of the video. But um, yeah, once you do that, you just have to click each of the totals, and then right here is the gold price. The more of one item, or the more, I believe it scales with rarity too, but the higher it is, the higher the price. So just make sure you have the gold to compensate for that. Once you're ready, press place order, and boom, it's quick and easy like that. Open up your inventory. Uh, Click the glass blower bubble, that's what we traded for, put it in your inventory, boom, you're done. Let's go ahead back to our stash and open up the map device for absolutely no goddamn reason. Uh, and that's it. That's the currency exchange. Really utilize that, especially once you get into endgame mapping. I mean, there's not really going to be a major purpose for it. Maybe you could trade some transmutes or some augs to possibly get an exalted. I think the conversion rate isn't too bad for them. It changes every day. It changes possibly even every hour. So, you know, always tune in, check to see if the rates are lower. You never know, you could snag a steal. I'm going to do one more, so I need to get a greater jeweler's orb. So let's go ahead and go grab that. Buy or sell items. That is not what I wanted to do. Currency exchange. Same thing. Go over here. Go to perfect jeweler's orb. In this case, they want an absurd amount of that orb of annulment. I'm not gonna do that. What is a chaos to? I know. Yeah. What is a thing to chaos? Cause I just need one chaos orb. So let's go here. Let's do chaos orb for chaos orb. And then Exalted, it's 78. I mean, I don't mind. As long as I have some, that's all I care about. So, after that, do not do what I'm doing, by the way. This is all for the sake of the video. Do not follow what I'm doing. I might even cut this out so people don't trip. Um, what were we trying to get? Oh, greater or perfect uh, orb. And we're going to use a chaos. Boom, boom. As you you see, people are trying to trade with me. I haven't touched this account in so long. I feel so bad for people, but uh, yeah, I think we officially have all the currencies besides this bitch ass Miracalandra, always trying to ruin everything. Fun fact: never had one in my life. So, uh, if you play this game for a long ass extended, you don't get one. Don't feel bad. I have a feeling a lot of people don't really get those. So, um, yeah. Now the fun part. I think I'm gonna see if maybe not Doriani. Let's see if one of the other vendors have possibly some whites that I can buy. That sounds so terrible. Bloodset ring, a whole bunch of that. Just need a white. Just need a white. Nope. Rug. No. Thank you, Danning. Danning, I don't. Thank you. All right. Let's go ahead and put this here. Uh, what do you have? Please tell me you have some whites, and you don't. This is embarrassing. Alright, let's... The only whites that I have is, flasks at the moment. Oh, there we go. Boom. Alright, perfect. So, going back to currencies, I'm gonna use the flask for now just to kind of show y'all some stuff. And then once we start actually getting into crafting, I'll dabble more deeper with the crossbow that I have here. I only have one white item, so can't make no mistakes here. But let's just start from the left and go around. So Orb of Transmutation upgrades a normal item to a magic item with one modifier. Uh, it's your starting point. That's really it. You can't really do much with white items, so you use a Orb of Transmutation to start off your crafting, or it's one of the ways that you could start off your crafting. All you do is right click whatever currency you're going to use. You could put your thing here or you could have it in your inventory. It doesn't matter where it is. And then you're just going to click. Boom. It went from a common silver rarity all the way up to a blue. Um, I don't know what they call it. A fucking, I don't know. Uncommon, I guess. But it's blue rarity now. On top of that, so it increased its base stats, of course. Consumed. It used to consume something else, but now it consumes 7 of 75 charges. Uh, and then it added a modifier, 24% reduced charges per use. That's all the transmute does. You're gonna stack up these a lot, and then plus it's super cheap, so whatever. I mean, if you want to currency exchange it, I guess. But you can also break down blue weapons for shards, which is these right here. And then a stack of 10 shards create an orb of transmutation. So you can make it in so many different ways. You can obtain them in so many different ways. And like I said, it's very, very frequent that you're going to find these as a drop. Um, Not much else to say. I mean, it's the MVP of support players, if that makes sense. Hey, you've got to start somewhere. So the next thing is the Orb of Augmentation. So each rarity kind of has a pair of items that you start with one and then you go into the other. Same thing with the Orb of Alchemy into the what is it called? The Orb of Alchemy into an Exalted Orb, or even a Regal Orb into an Exalted Orb. Uh, this is essentially this for the same thing for blue weapons. It just adds a modifier to a magic item. Magic is the blue rarity, I guess. Um, but same thing, you right click and it just adds an extra modifier. Now I think blue items besides the flask could have up to three. Let me just go ahead and try that. Yeah, so flask I think is up to two. But you have a potential of getting three, like on weapons and stuff, you can get up to three. So, uh, and again, it just goes hand in hand. You usually transmute into an aug, and then you just try to get this all the way till the max amount of modifiers is rolled on there. And then after that, there's really not much else to say with the augment. It just adds an extra modifier. Uh, then once you get up to here, then you use something like a Regal Orb. So the Regal Orb is pretty interesting. It just upgrades a magic item to a rare item. That's really it. It does the same thing that the transmute does, but for blue weapons. Taking it, right clicking it. You can't do it on what flask. I forgot about that. Let's go ahead and do this. So same thing. We're gonna orb of augment. Then we're gonna orb of augment. We're gonna orb of transmute into an orb of augment. And we're just gonna keep building the modifiers there. Again, it's only up to two. You have a potential of getting three. Um, then we're going to hit it with the Regal Orb. Now, the Regal Orb is going to take it to Gold Rarity, which is Rare Rarity. And now it has four modifiers on it. You could also hold Control. Is it Control? Nope, it's Alt. So you can hold Alt and it will tell you what is a prefix, which is the first three modifiers, and then the suffixes, which is the last three modifiers. Rare weapons could have up to 6 modifiers on the weapon or item, or it could even be armor. Um, and you have a potential of starting with 3 or 4. Uh, Holding down Alt is going to also give you the rolls for the weapons and stuff. I want to make a separate video kind of breaking down how to read the stat sheets for the items, but that's essentially what a Regal Orb does. All it does is it takes it from a magic item to a rare item and then adds additional modifiers to it. In this case, it added two extra ones. Where do you go from there? Same thing with the Orb of Augmentation. Uh, you have the Exalted Orbs, which augments a rare item with new random modifiers. So I'm going to just do one. As you can see, it added one more extra modifier, which is the 30% reduced attribute requirements. It's completely random which one you get. Um, Honestly speaking, between the prefixes and suffixes, you kind of want to check and see uh, what exactly can be rolled on that item. You also want to see if you have a good base to even be spending all this currency on. Uh, and yeah, just overall, some things you just want to pay attention about. But you could keep like essentially you just keep doing an exalted until you get all six modifiers. Uh, Once you get to there though, what do you do after that? So rare is kind of the cap of the rarities that you can get up to, but there's still things you can do to the weapon. So still kind of skipping around. We're not going to touch Orb of Valks and stuff yet, but um, this is where the Chaos Orb comes in. So you could remove a random modifier and augment a rare item with a new random modifier. So it kind of acts, and I might touch on two currencies at once here, but it kind of acts like an Orb of Annulment, but it adds a modifier as well. So the Orb of Annulment just removes a random modifier from the item. It kind of works different than the Scouring Orb from POE1, where it completely brings it back down to white. It just removes one modifier, so you could essentially hit it with the Orb of Annulment here. I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Boom, it removed one of the modifiers. You could hit it with another Exalt, and now I got a different modifier, which is the plus 34 to accuracy rating. Um, for some reason, um, these orbs come by um, so infrequently, so just know what you're doing, unless it's like something that you in dire need of removing, then go ahead and use it. By all means, it's your currency, so do what you want with it. But um, yeah, it comes by rare, so just keep that in mind. Now, the Chaos Orb does the same thing. Now, I can't exactly use it on this weapon here because, oh wait, actually I can because it removes a random modifier and then adds a new one. Correct. Go ahead and did that, and I believe it switched one of them to the 2.4 plus 2.14. It's a critical hit chance. Uh, Boom, you just saw it in real time. Uh, Chaos Orbs are really good for meta building and meta crafting later on. It, you know, defeats the purpose of having a Orb of Annulment in hindsight because it does, um, this does what it does, but better, if that makes sense. But it's always good to have these because sometimes you want to maybe control what you roll or choose one of your modifiers because there is essences and stuff like that that you can use on weapons and armor to augment it later on. So sometimes you want an additional slot. Uh, but most of the time, Chaos Orbs can do the job. Now, an Orb of Alchemy just skips all the bullshit, takes your white, regular, common weapon all the way up to rare rarity with plus 4 modifiers on it. Um, yeah, to not beat around the bush, that's all it does. It just skips the steps of these two right here and goes straight into allowing you to use your Exalted Orbs. Vol orbs are fun. Vol orbs are the bane of a lot of people's existences, but is also a very, very crucial part of crafting weapons that not only work really, really good, but also become really, really, really pricey trade items if Val orbs work correctly. So, uh, it modifies an item unpredictably and corrupts it. So that essentially means you could either get positives or negatives. Like it could ruin your weapon right now, or it can make it way better. So just pay attention to what our modifiers is right now. Uh, 11 and 20 physical, 4 to 6 fire, 34 accuracy, things of that nature. Let's go ahead and take a Vol Orb, go ahead and corrupt it. So in this case, I'm not too sure what it did. I think it did something to the fire damage, maybe like, or it also increased the, uh, oh, it's already corrupted. Yeah, you can't double corrupt an item. But I'm not too sure what changed exactly. I was trying to like pay attention, but it happened so quickly. But it corrupted my item and it changed something, or it could have changed absolutely goddamn nothing and I wasted it for no reason. You never know with fall orbs, but sometimes it's your friend and it's able to kind of, help you along the way. Hopefully, it's if it's having a good day. Fracturing orbs are kind of new. So, a fracture orb fractures a random modifier on a rare item with at least four modifiers, locking it in place. So, I can't do much on this weapon. Let's go ahead and go find something else real quick. So, let's just find a random blue. Mm, yeah, let's do this one. Let's go ahead and go to the currency. So in this case, since it's already a blue item, I can just go straight to the Regal Orb, uh, bring it up to a rare rarity. Now with the fracturing, we're gonna go ahead and place this here. It doesn't have the required item, does not meet the required number of mods, at least four. So let's just go ahead and bring this all the way up to the most that we can do. And boom. So fracturing orbs fracture a random item. So let's go ahead and hover. Am I back? Perfect. Let's hover over what fractured means, because I'm actually curious. I don't really know. Fractured modifier is locked in onto the item permanently. It cannot be removed or altered. Oh, okay, perfect. So, what this can be used for is, so, as you can see, the two gold ones are the ones that are locked in place. No matter what I do to this item, I could annul it, I could chaos it, uh, whatever the case is. I think even to an extent Vol Orbs as well. But um, it just makes sure that those two modifiers don't get touched. That's it. It's completely random, but if it's a modifier that you really don't want to get touched, go ahead and try your luck and see if it, stays in place for you. It's super beneficial if it works the right way. But moving on, and this is the one I'm nervous about. The Divine Orb. So this is the Almighty Divine Orb. This is what everybody goes crazy for in POE2, and POE1 as well. I know it as one of the God tier trading items, where it essentially is the ultimate bargaining tool for whatever you want on the trade site. Most of the time, like even if it's something that's hella exalted, most of the time they're just gonna take that Divine Orb. Uh, that's what I mostly use it for, is trading. But when it comes to crafting, and we're both gonna do this for the same for the at the same time for the first time, um, as you can see, it says it randomizes the numerical values of a modifier of an item. So remember these modifiers right here: 2 to 6, 20 to 45, 15 accuracy rating. It's gonna touch those. So um, yeah, let's see what happens. I can never tell what it does, but it did something. You guys tell me. But yeah, it randomized the modifiers of the it randomizes the numerical value of those modifiers. I can't really tell what it changed. I think maybe the 21 to 39 fire damage, maybe, but who knows? um, Pay attention better this next time, I guess. Then moving on to the Mirror of Kalandra. From the start of the video, you probably already recognize that I don't have one, never had one since even POE1. But uh, yeah, it's the currency of all currencies. It copies whatever item you place it on. It makes an exact like replica of it down to the modifiers, down to the numerical value. Once you're getting into like level 100 builds and people who are like doing the highest tiers of content, they're gonna want to like copy if they're doing like dual wield weapons or uh, it's more specifically used for rings. You know, when you get like a super busted ring, you just copy it and now you could wear it and it's double the effects that you got essentially. The only time I ever see people use these is whenever they're um, manipulating like a ring with the highest possible rolls for, you know, what it could be life, it could be whatever. Uh, if you come across one, I mean, you won. Congratulations. But also, it opens the door for a lot of avenues. For one, trading just one on the currency exchange is I don't know how much is it for divines. I think I'm just curious now. I think I'm starting to get sick. Uh, so the currency exchange, a mirror of Kalandra is. Damn, it doesn't even go for chaos. Uh, where is it? Boom. Holy shit! I didn't even think it was that high. But one mirror of Kalandra is 4,900 divine orbs. Holy Jesus, Batman. Um, Now, to put that into perspective, I think I mentioned that exalted orbs are kind of like the base currency. Let's see how much a divine orb is for just regular exalted. Now you have 4,900 divine orbs after selling one mirror of Kalandra. I wouldn't recommend that, but shit, if you just want to get loaded, go ahead, be my guest. Um, yeah. So if you have a mirror, I mean, it's the ultimate bargaining chip. It's the ultimate currency exchange item, but also it is just really good for when you start. You know, if you're heavy into the game and you're like trying to do all of the. I'm sorry, my nose is running like crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if my nose is bleeding, but um, yeah, once you get up to higher tiers and reach that inevitable level 100, uh, if you have a mirror, you could just take your build from 50 to 100. Simple. These are super important items that are often overlooked, so it increases the quality of, armor, martial weapons, and your wand, staff, or scepter. Uh, these are beneficial because you want to increase your quality of the weapons and stuff that you're using because it boosts the oh shit, because it boosts the regular modifiers of your weapon. So basically the innate modifiers, so the physical damage, lightning damage, critical hit chance, things of that nature. Putting back this right here, you want to do this more or less when you have the weapon at white or you have the weapon at like magic rarity because it costs less of the currency to do it because now it's most likely, oh, I can't even do it because it's corrupted. When the weapon's corrupted, apparently it's just locked to whatever it is. So make sure you upgrade the quality beforehand. Uh, but taking one of the blacksmith whetstones, placing it on there, you see the quality went up by 3%. I believe it's maybe 6 or 9 when you're doing it on white, so it really pays to do it beforehand, but you're also wasting currency because you really truly don't know what the rolls are going to be once, you eventually start dumping some currency into it. But the highest quality possible, it is 20. So let's go ahead and just get that up there for y'all. There we go. Boom. Quality is 20%. That is the highest possible quality that you can get. And if you roll back the video, you'll see the physical damage went from a certain number all the way up to 55 to 97. It really pays to just upgrade the quality. It doesn't do anything to the actual modifiers, but just making the base weapon or armor more powerful, you know, you want to do that all the time. Simple. If especially if it's something that you really really like, even if you get it at rare or whatever the case is, still put in those qualities in there. It's just gonna help you out in the long run. Artificial orbs are cool. So there's a mechanic in this game called runes, and when you use these artificial orbs, most of the time the weapons do come with like some type of rune slot, but if it doesn't, use the artificial orb and then you could add it to a weapon or armor. Um, Weapons get two, uh, chest plates and stuff get two, one, one, and one for the other items in there. Uh, Super beneficial runes are essentially like a build's best friend. It adds modifiers. Where's my runes? Oh, I guess I don't have it on my sunset. Where's random? There we go. So these are runes right here. I have a dedicated slot for it that I could show y'all for sure. But these, if you look at it, depending on the item it is, whether it's a weapon or armor, it gives you different innate modifiers. So this one, martial weapons leeches 2.5 physical damage is life, armor plus 30 to maximum life. So if we go back to the currency here, boom, it now leeches 2.5 physical damage for life. Uh, Now it stacks, you feel me? So if you go back to here, was that the only one I had? Nope. So if we go back to here and go ahead and put a second one, now it does 5% of physical damage as life. Pretty sick, right? But you could also mix and match them. That's why I said runes are important. Runes are also used a lot to make sure that you're at the what is it called? The statistic level, so your strength, dexterity, and intelligence. Whenever you're, trading up to different items and stuff, and you may not have the stat requirements, use your runes to try to get there. Um, Scrolls of Wisdom, all it does is identify items, but once you get a hideout or something, it kind of serves no purpose because, uh, where's my shadow? Or sin, I guess. ROG. Where the fuck is he? Alva Relic. Kitsuli. I think Kitsuli could do it too. Disenchant items. We'll talk about that in another video. But if you still have Sin somewhere in your hideout, maybe. There we go. Hooded one. Let's go ahead and just put him. Can I? Okay. Okay, well, I guess I can put him here. But this guy, the hooded one, he could identify the items for you. There's no point of using the Scroll of Wisdom, honestly. I mean, sometimes you could do it on the fly, but nah, you don't need to. You could just wait till you get back to your map. To your hideout. Now, gem cutter prisms do the same thing for that the other ones do for like the martial weapons and the armor, and that's increase the quality of your skill gems. Same thing, you're just increasing the damage it could do or increasing whatever stats are on that skill gem. You always want to increase the quality of any item that allows quality to be on it. There's also certain rings and stuff that increase the quality of your weapons and armor too, so always pay attention to those as well. Glass blower bubble is same thing for flasks. Uh, the reason why I was confused was because that's the first time I actually had a glass blower bubble as well. I think I had one, but I traded it for some type of currency that I needed. But you know, flasks also can get currency, and it increases the three modifiers you see right there. Well, not the three modifiers, but the regular modifiers. So let's go ahead and just fucking use it. Why not? Increase it by 7%. And it recovers way more life now. So super beneficial. Uh, And then the last three here, uh, is the what are these called? The orbs. So they're jeweler orbs. You have three different tiers of them, which is the lesser, greater, and jeweler. This is your way of getting multiple um, gear slot, like not gear slots, but support gem slots. So these are your skill gems right here, and then these slots are used for support gems like these that basically augment the skill to do different things, or give it different skills inside of itself. So with my Tempest Flurry, uh, you're able to get 20% increase attack speed, 23% increase damage to enemies within 1 meter, and then support is good. Things of that, you get the gist. You start off with two. Yeah, you start off with two, and then you use the different tiers of greater orb, jeweler orbs, to get these other slots unlocked. So in this case, let's go ahead and just grab them, put them in here, and I'm gonna use them while I'm here. Um, Pop this open. Go ahead and oh fuck, pop this open. Go ahead and pop open your inventory. So let's just use Wind Dancer right here, for example. We're gonna use the Lesser Jeweler Orb on the Wind Dancer. Boom. Third support gem slot open. Greater Jeweler Orb. Boom. Fifth gem slot open. And finally, the Perfect Jeweler Orb unlocks all five. That's it. Now, Wind Dancer, if I wanted it to, can be one of the most OP abilities on my thing because support gems are busted. Uh, and yeah, hopefully I wasn't too incoherent for you. Hopefully I explained it pretty decently. I mean, these things down here is just shards to get the other items. So this one is for the Artificer Orbs, this is for the Transmutes, this is for the Regals, and then this is for the Chance Orbs right here. Oh, I didn't even talk about Chance Orbs. So last thing is, of course, Chance Orbs, which I only ever see these people use this when they're trying to turn a stellar amulet or some other base into a legendary or a unique item. Um, that's the only time I really use it, and that's what it does. So it unpredictably either upgrades a normal item to unique rarity or destroys it. So it's a give or take chance, honestly. So take that with a grain of salt. Now it's time to finally sign off on y'all. Um, I think third time was the charm. I think this was decently well done. Hopefully, I learned something. You could always refer back to this video and, try to piece my words together. And, um, yeah, POE2 is an amazing game. Hopefully, y'all enjoy it, and hopefully, this makes the road a little bit easier for y'all. And, yeah, I'm gonna go knock the fuck out. Love y'all. Peace.